Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare. Over everything? Over?
Yes, Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Mataji is chanting is nice. Nice. Okay. At this age, she's trying, that itself is very wonderful. It's an inspiration for all of us. So 147 verse 16th chapter. So Muslims, they saw the extraordinary potency of Haridas Thakur. They forgot their envy. Now Haridas floated in Ganga for some time. He regained his external consciousness by the will of Lord. First, his body was very hard. They could not push. They were trying, but he was immovable, like a stone pillar. His heart was completely in Gausundar, and Gausundar entered his body. That is why it became more hard. It is said here, personal protection was given by Govinda to Haridas. It is said, one who remembers Haridas Thakur is immediately relieved of all the miseries. Haridas, who had the power to control the universe, is certainly one of the topmost devotees of Sri Krishna, Sri Caitanya. Now, he came to the ocean, got out of the water in great ecstasy. In this way, he started for fully a while loudly chanting the names of Krishna. And the Muslims, when they saw the great potency there, they forgot their enviousness. Veera Jnana Pare, Save, Vila Namaskara, Sakala Yavana Gana, Paila, Nistara, 147th verse, chapter 16. Caitanya Bhagavata. The Muslims considered Haridas a powerful saint. So they offered him obeisances. Thus they were all delivered from material bondage. Those Muslims who considered Mahabhagavat Thakur Haridas worshipable offered him their humble obeisances, were freed from material bondage. Haridas Thakur was not an ordinary person. He is Brahma himself, who was incarnated to take atonement for himself in the Chaitanya Leela. So those Muslims who considered him worshipable, they are freed from all the material bondage. Katakshane bhaya paile nak Haridasa muluka patire kahi haila kripa hasa. Sometime after regaining consciousness, Haridas met the district governor and laughed mercifully. Went and met the governor. Sambhrame mulukapati yudi doi kara balite lagila kichu vinayutara. With great awe and reverence, the governor folded his hands and humbly said to Haridas, Satya Satya Janilana, Tumi Mahapira, Ekagyana Tomara se Hayache Stira. Now I know for certain that you are a powerful saint, for you are firmly convinced that the Supreme Lord is one. So saints, they have proper vision. One who has proper vision is a saint. Other way around. Panditaha Samadarshinaha is very important. Panditaha Samadarshinaha. What he sees, that one Lord who is seated in everyone's heart as Paramatma. That is why he doesn't differentiate between anyone. Shuni Chaiva Shapakecha Panditaha Samadarshinaha. In Hasti, in dog, in a Brahmana, that one person, that Paramatma is seated. And God is one. There is no two God. There is always one only God. There is only one God. And he is seated in everyone's heart. To see the presence of the Supreme Lord in every living entity. To see the Lord's variegatedness. In other words, to realize the non-dual absolute truth. That is Eka Jnana. Eka Jnana. So one who has this type of vision, Eka Jnana, everybody it is only one. Even Vyavasayatmika Buddhi Ekeha Kurunandana. There also Ekeha. One focused attention. You cannot put your attention in different things. You can only have one vision. So one vision, one understanding, one surrenderance, one worship, then that person can progress. Eka Jnana, that is known as Eka Jnana. Seeing that Supreme Lord in different living entities and also in many other things. In this way, seeing the variegatedness. So understanding Jada Brahman, Jiva Brahman, Para Brahman. So this is known as Eka Jnana. Yogi Jnani Yata Sava Mukhe Matra Bole Tumi Se Paila Siddhi Mahakutuhale. All the so-called yogis and jnanis simply speak big words, but you have actually attained perfection. So some people just talk with big words. But Haridas Thakur proved it, showed it by his action. It's not just lip service. It is complete consciousness in Krishna. Ordinary pseudo yogis and pseudo jnanis speak of Advaya Jnana or transcendental knowledge beyond duality, simply to make a show of being liberal. But you, Haridas, are actually a real perfected Mahapurusha or great personality. The amount of tolerance and the amount of complete faith in Krishna made the envious Muslims who were trying to kill him, those all envious Muslims now got freed from their enviousness and took shelter of Haridas Thakur. तुम्हारे देखी ते मुही आई लूं एथारे सब दोष महाशय Shamibe Amare. Oh, sir, I have personally come to meet you. Please forgive all my offenses. Sakala Tomara Sama, Shatru Mitranaye, Tomachine, Hena Jana, Tribhuvaninaye. You are equal to everyone. Sama Shatraucha Mitrecha. You are equal to Mitra also, to the Shatru also. You are equal to everyone. That means you don't have any personal friendship or personal enviousness towards anyone. But there is no one in this material world, in this three world, who can understand you. On the strength of their mundane knowledge, the materialists cannot understand the position of a Mahabhagavat, the Paramahamsa Vaishnava. Actually, no one is the friend or enemy of a Vaishnava because he considers everyone in the world a Vaishnava. He is a friend of everyone. And beyond and being devoid of the conception of mundane enjoyment, he sees everyone, friends and enemies, equally. So if you see the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, the Lakshana of Mahabhagavat is given. He is equipoised, he is beyond duality. His mind is completely focused in Krishna. And then, because he is so focused in Krishna, that he automatically follows the rules and regulations. He has no deviation at all. Nirmama, no sense of false proprietorship. Nirahankara, he has no false ego. He is sama dukkha sukha. He is, in both the situations, he is equipoised. Shami, he has forgiving tendencies. Santushta is always satisfied. In this way, Harsha Marsha Bhayodveghi, in both the situations, he is just peaceful. He has no friend, no enemy. He doesn't lament. He has any desire. Sama Shatraucha Mitrecha Tatha Manapamanayoh. Shitoshna Sukha Dukkheshu Samasanga Vivarjita. If you go through the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, very clearly it has been given. These are all the lakshanas of a pure devotee. So all these lakshanas were found in Haridas Thakur. He is praying for those who are giving him pain. He is praying to Lord, oh please forgive them. Don't get angry on them. So these are the lakshanas. Chalatumi, Shubhakara, Apana Ichaya, Ganga Tire, Thakagiya, Nirjana, Gopaya. You are free to go wherever you wish. You may go stay in a cave on the bank of Ganga or wherever you desire. Now the governor is telling wherever you feel you can go. The word Gopaya derived from the word Guya or Hindi word Gupta. Gufa. Gupaya is also known as Gufa, a vacant cave. The governor said, "O Haridas, now you are freed from arrest. Therefore, by your own sweet will, you may go to a secluded cave on the bank of Ganga near Fulia and worship your beloved Lord without disturbance. Although we are most abominable and sinful, please forgive all our unforgivable offenses and glance mercifully on us. आपन इच्छाय तुम्ही था यथा तथा ये तुम्हारी इच्छा ताई करह सर्वथा. Wherever you हरिदास ठाकुरे चरण देखिला उत्तमेर की दिया दाय यवन देखी भूले. What to speak of the upper classes? Even the Muslims forgot themselves upon seeing the lotus feet of Haridas Thakur. So this should be the power. If a person chants nicely, takes up pure devotional service, automatically everybody starts becoming his friend. Even the envious people, initially they'll be very envious, they'll be very cruel. But if a person knows how to tolerate, then slowly, the same cruel person, the same envious person gets subdued at the lotus feet of pure devotee. The Muslims are generally devoid of devotional service to the Supreme Lord. If sense enjoyers, fruity workers, mental speculators, who are all relatively superior to the Muslims, appreciate the magnanimous, glorious lotus feet of Bhagavata Thakur Haridas, then they will permanently retire from engagements in their respective sense gratification. On seeing Haridas, even Muslims who were sinful, extremely averse to the Lord, forgot their endeavors to oppose devotional service, which were induced by the urges of their senses. So because of their senses, the urges of the senses, they were very envious. But when they saw the nature and the activities of Haridas Thakur and how tolerant he is, and how devoted he is, they gave up their enviousness and they also got the chance to perform the devotional service, pure devotional service. Eta krodhe anileka mari bara tare pira jnana kori aro paye pache dhare. They had angrily taken him to be killed, but they ultimately accepted him as a powerful saint. We can see the same instance in Ramanujacharya's episode also. But how his teacher Yadav Prakash, he wanted to kill Ramanuja. After he understood the wonderful nature of Ramanuja, the power of Ramanuja, he became his disciple, the teacher becoming the disciple of the student. Oh, how wonderful are the uncommon glories of Mahabhagavat, Paramahamsa Vaishnava Thakurs. By seeing the extraordinary shining example of Thakur Haridas' forgiveness and tolerance, that same governor who was previously envious of the Thakur, who had angrily arrested and severely punished him, who hated Lord Vishnu and the Vaishnava, and who was most sinful, is now accepting Thakur Haridas as a worshipable, uncommon, great personality sent by God. Not only that, being purified by the fire of repentance, that most sinful, atheist, offensive governor begged forgiveness for all his offenses. and obliged to offer obeisances at the lotus feet of Haridas Thakur, Thakur's lotus feet. So that is how the power of purity. Purity is force, Srila Prabhupada says. Purity is force. Books are the basis. How a person can become pure? By taking shelter of the Shastras. And how to take shelter of the Shastra? By taking shelter of our Acharyas. So in this way, one gains the purity. Once a person is pure, he has the ability to purify everyone. It's like a touchstone. Anything touched to the touch comes in contact with the touchstone becomes gold. In the same way, anyone who comes in contact with Mahabhagavata also takes up devotional service. Yavanera Krupadrushti Kariya Prakasha Fuliya Yaida Thakura Haridasa. So in this way, after mercifully glancing at the Muslims, Thakur Haridas entered Fulia. Still his glances, how the glances are, merciful glances. Merciful glances refers to praying to Lord to forgive all of them. That is known as merciful glance. And also not having any grudge, any type of hatred, or any revenging attitude, retaliating attitude. Why Arjuna was selected to be the student of Bhagavad Gita? Because he had no retaliating attitude. If you see in the second chapter, Purport Srila Prabhupada writes, in the second chapter, first verse itself, Srila Prabhupada gives why Arjuna is selected to be the proper student of Bhagavad Gita. Because he had no enviousness. First thing, he had no enviousness. Second chapter, first verse, if you open, just see. He had no enviousness, that is why he was selected. It teaches us self-realization. And that is how, when a person has the self-realization, automatically, he has no enviousness towards anyone. In fact, on the contrary, he will forgive everybody. Because of that magnanimity, or so-called magnanimity or magnanimous heart of forgiving everyone, that invokes Krishna's mercy that has been given. How to invoke Krishna's mercy? Only when a person has non-retaliating attitude. Then Krishna chooses to give him the purest knowledge. Uchchakari Harinama Laite Laite Ailena Haridasa Brahmana Sabhate. Chanting loudly, he came in the assembly of the Brahmanas. Haridasa dekhi boliyar vipragana savai haila ati parananda mana. After seeing Haridas come safely, then everybody were experiencing para ananda. Haridhvani vipragana lagila karite, Haridasa lagilena anande nachite. Everyone were chanting the names of Hari. And Haridas began to chant and dance in ecstasy. Being relieved from the torture and repression of the governor and the Qazi, to benefit the Brahmana community of Fulia, Thakur Haridas arrived there by loudly chanting the names of Hari. Due to narrow-minded sectarian and social aversion towards devotional service, some so-called Brahmanas did not previously consider it proper to accept Haridas as a spiritual master for awarding the holy names. But now, after hearing about his extraordinary unlimited powers, all the prestigious Brahmanas accepted him as a giver of the holy name, which are non-different from the Lord himself. All of them happily began to respect Haridas. So in this way, everybody were happy. Initially, even some of the Brahmanas, they thought, oh, he's a Muslim born. Why should we accept him as now? Why should we take holy name from him? But now When they saw his extraordinary power, extraordinary mercy of Krishna unto him, they accepted him as Nam Acharya. Adbhuta Ananta Haridasera Vikara, Ashrukampa Hasya Murcha Pulaka Hunkara. Haridas displayed endless ecstatic transformations like crying, shivering, laughing, falling unconscious, hair standing on end, and roaring. Achadak Hayena Haridasa Premarasa. देखिए ब्राह्मण गण महानंद भासे. So Haridas was in complete ecstasy. In that ecstatic love, Haridas crashed to the ground. And seeing this, the Brahmanas began to float in ecstasy. Sthirahaya kshanike Vasila Haridasa Vipragada Vasilena Vedi Charipasa. And this way, when Haridas became pacified, the Brahmanas sat around him. Haridasa Bolena Shunaka Vipragana Dukkhana Phai Viha Kichu Amara Karana. Oh, Brahmanas, please listen. Don't feel sorry for me. Don't get tensed up. Because some of the Brahmanas, they could not see the torture which was given to Haridas. Says, don't feel sorry for me. Prabhu Nindami se Sunilana Apara Tarasasti Karilena Ishwara Mara. He says, I heard so much blasphemy of the Lord. That is why he has punished me. So don't feel sorry for me. Now just see, he is not even trying to prove that he is great. And he is having such a pure devotional service that the Lord protected him. On the contrary, he says, I have heard so many blasphemy about the Lord. Even hearing is also a sin. I have done a lot of sins. That is why I am punished. So you don't have to feel sorry for me or have hatred for somebody else who has given me the punishment. It's all because of my own karmas. While considering himself an ordinary conditioned soul, forced to enjoy the fruits of karma, Haridas humbly said, I had to hear topics that were averse to the Lord as punishment for my previous misdeeds and aversion to the Lord. Due to my tolerance, I did not adequately protest the harsh statements of persons who were averse to the Lord. That is why the Lord has awarded this punishment to me. Now here Haridas wants to teach us that we cannot hear the blasphemy of the devotees. We should not hear. We should not hear the blasphemy of the Lord also. Anyone who is blaspheming the devotee, anyone who is blaspheming Lord, Satam Nindanamna Paramaparadham. This is the Paramaparadham. The Lord awards severe punishment to those who, even after hearing blasphemy against the Lord and his devotees, do not protest in order to make a show of tolerance. There are some who try to become very friendly to those who have criticizing attitude. They like to hear also criticisms done by the devotees. Instead of giving a thrash, they like to hear the criticism. They like to show that they are very tolerant. But here very clearly it has been given. Lord awards severe punishment. Even after hearing blasphemous words against Hari, Guru and Vaishnava, the Prakruta Sahajiya's attempt to justify mean, duplicitous as a Vaishnava etiquette. Guarantees their frightful degradation. There are people who show that they have a lot of Vaishnava etiquettes. When it comes to insult of one's own, one should hear it. When it comes to the insult of Guru, Vaishnava, Sadhu, Lord, then one should challenge or run away from that place. Thakur Haridas was truly the highest deal of tolerance and decay, and because the deceitful Prakruta Sahajyaka Sampradaya tries to artificially imitate the quality of his tolerance, they ultimately achieve various miseries in life. Since the Mahabhagat Paramahamsa Vaishnava is personally free from the blasphemy of others, He does not possess the external mundane urges to blaspheme or praise, talk unnecessarily or gossip. But since the Prakruta Sahajiyas are not situated on such an exalted platform, their endeavors to imitate result in abominable duplicity. Therefore, they inevitably suffer miseries. In order to preach this topic to the deceitful Prakruta Sahajiya Sampradaya, Haridas Thakur, like an ordinary human being invoked the philosophy of enjoying fruity results. The Prakruta Sahajiyas are forced to enjoy the fruits of their activities like Haridas Thakur, but Haridas Thakur, the crest jewel among the liberated souls and chanter of the holy name, is certainly not forced to enjoy the results of his activity. Rupa Goswami has described this topic in Sri Namashtaka as follows: Yad Brahma Sakshat Krutinishtayapi Vinasham Ayati Vinana Bhogai Apaiti Nam Sfuranena Tatte Prarabdha Karmeti Virauti Vedah. The seeds of sinful activities that upon fruition caused rebirth are not totally destroyed despite realization of oneness with Brahman through constant meditation. But, oh Lord, as soon as your holy name manifests on the tongue, even in the form of namabhas, all seeds of sinful activities are totally uprooted. This is elaborately glorified in the Vedas. So very powerful shloka this is. The Namashtaka glorifies the chanting of the holy name. Pure chanting of the holy name or chanting very sincerely and seriously has the capacity to remove all the seeds of our sinful activities. Even if a person is having realization of Brahman, still the seeds of sinful activities are not destroyed. But one who is chanting very purely can easily surpass the stage of sinful activities or the seed of sinful activities that has been given. So Haridas Thakur, he is actually indicating to the Prakruta Sahajiyas, they tolerate. If somebody blasphemes, they just tolerate. They show as if it's a Vaishnava etiquette. They're also Prakruta Sahajiyas only. Whoever is hearing the blasphemy of the devotees understand they are Prakruta Sahajiyas. There is no point in gossiping about any devotee. But if the devotee has to be corrected, only the teacher can do that. Nobody else can do. One spiritual master has a right to teach or correct the devotee. Others cannot gossip about the devotee. Nobody has a right to gossip about anyone. This gossiping nature will make them as a Prakruta Sahajiyas. That also has been given. Hari Guru Vaishnava. If anybody is insulting Guru, is insulting Hari, insulting a Vaishnava, we should run away from that place or at least give a proper justification for their wrong things. So you have to justify that how your Guru, your Lord and Vaishnavas are correct. In this way you can challenge them. That has been given. 167 onwards we'll do tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Any doubts you can ask.
Yeah. Hare Krishna Mataji, thank you for the class.
Hare.
Yeah, Mataji, this you said that Muslims who considered Mahabhagavata Haridas Thakur worshipable and offered him humble obeisance, they were freed from material bondage. So, freed from material bondage, what does it mean here? I was thinking of those two things. Freed from material bondage would either be that they have got detachment like Jnanis and they have merged into the Brahman, or it can also mean freed from material bondage, that is freedom from cycle of birth and death, where the subtle body gets dissolved and then you go back to Godhead. So which angle we should take here, freed from material, because it cannot be the higher one.
You told so fast.
Sorry.
Repeat again.
It is written here that those Muslims, they who considered Mahabhagavat Thakur, that 147 number, who considered Mahabhagavat Adidas Thakur worshipable, offered to them these offenses, and they were freed from material bondage. So the word material bondage here, what does it signify? Because there can be two types of freedom from material bondage. One can be freedom from material bondage in terms of detachment from the material world, like Gyanis, and then merging into the Brahmajyoti, that is the Brahman. And the other one can be freed from material bondage, means cycle of rebirth, of birth and death, and then going back to Golok. So which one do we take? Which angle do we take here?
First thing, material bondage refers to
Yeah.
the first thing, material bondage. What it refers to? Our own psychological. That means our own vices. Simple. Our own vices. That itself is a bondage. Pride is a bondage. Enviousness is a bondage. To come out of that itself is freedom. Once we come out of all these vices, automatically one achieves the lotus feet of Krishna, Hari Prem. Then going back home, back to God. It is later. First to get qualified. For that, one has to come out of the vices. Na?
First, it is the lower one, that is the anartha, anartha nivriti or whatever.
No, anarthas.
Then these are all anarthas, na? Envy, pride, whatever.
Yeah, these are anarthas. To come out of anartha itself is a big thing. It's not so easy to come out of anarthas. All of us are stuck in some or the other anarthas. To come out of that anarthas, one has to have the mercy of our acharyas. And slowly,
You're muted, Mataji.
डिस्कनेक्ट हो गया प्रभु जी, म्यूटेड है क्या?
it's in a fraction of time.
Yeah. Okay. Actually, you got muted, Mataji. We didn't hear anything. The last one we didn't hear. Last एक दो लाइन नहीं सुना. आवाज गायब हो गया.
हाँ, so how many lifetimes will take, we don't know. It can happen within a fraction of time, like how Haridas Thakur. He just by considering him to be worshipable and understanding his position to be a Mahabhagavata, the ones who were having enviousness, they gave up all the enviousness. To come out of this enviousness is also a big thing. Enviousness is the root cause of all the problems.
That is avidya. So Mataji, the next question is that it is said that he laughed, he glanced and mercifully, but here it is written laughed mercifully. So why the word laughed is used?
He laughed mercifully. He did not tease them. He laughed mercifully. What is the meaning? Somebody can say there is a teasing or what? No, he gave a smile.
You discussed about that Jada Brahman, Jiva Brahman, and Para Brahman. That is the Ek Gyan. So can we term this Ek Gyan as Jada Brahman, Jiva Brahman, and Para Brahman as internal, marginal, and external potency of the Lord? Is it equivalent? Is it the same statement?
Because anybody can think this laugh means showing some pride.
Yeah, got that. Yeah, like Krishna smiled at Lord Brahma in Brahma.
Krishna smiled at Arjuna.
Yeah.
At last he has come. Now when they understood their mistake, at least he gives a smile. Oh, wonderful. He is laughing. Oh, wonderful. At least they'll come out of all their sins. That time also you smile. Na? Somebody is relieved from all the sins, relieved from all the miseries. That time also when laugh is there, smile is there.
Yes. Last two questions. You said about Jada Brahman, Jiva Brahman, and Para Brahman, and you termed this as Ek Gyan. So my this thing is that is this not equivalent to the terms internal potency, marginal potency, and external potency also as Ek Gyan, because you are saying Jada Brahman, which is equal to external potency. Then you are saying Jiva Brahman, which is equal to the marginal potency, and then you are saying Para Brahman, which is equal to the internal potency. So is it same or is it different?
Jada Brahman, Jiva Brahman, Para Brahman.
Yeah.
Lord is present now in everything. That has been shown.
No, I'm saying are these terms equal to the three potencies of the Lord, which we have learned. Internal,
Three
particular.
potencies, we are Ekagyana here refers to Lord having the three potency and Lord present in three potency.
Yes, of course, he's present. He's present
That is
everywhere.
Ekagyana. That is Ekagyana.
Okay. Last one is that he says that please forgive all my offenses, and then he says, and he glances mercifully. So my question is this: that is when someone is asking forgiveness of offenses, and when someone is glancing mercifully, what is the fine difference between the two? Glancing mercifully, you said this that glancing mercifully means that you just said something.
Yeah.
You said that one.
Glancing mercifully means relieved from all the miseries. He's
Yeah.
seeing Krishna has relieved them from all the miseries. The first miserable thing is being envious of others. So
Yes.
Krishna, he sees that others have been relieved from the enviousness.
Yeah, so
And then
you
he is
said
asking the forgiveness. Prabhupada also asked the forgiveness. When Prabhupada used to scold, he used to say, who's the last thing? Teacher has to scold. At the same time, teacher doesn't scold from the heart. Was leaving was about to leave this planet. At the time, he is asking forgiveness. He is showing.
so when the blasphemy of the Lord was taking place, why did not Haridas Thakur argue against it, like you said, or you run away or drown yourself in the sea? Why he didn't do that, and why did he accept the? Why did he not do that, and which led to his this miserable?
Sometimes Mahabhagavatars are not interested in arguing.
They want to teach us.
But at the same time, they are not encouraging the Prakruta Sahajas who are tolerating just on the name of Vaishnava etiquettes. He says, I did not argue. Sometimes they don't argue. They just leave it.
But then they get the offense, na? Like he says, no, I got punished.
That is why he says, no, I got the offense because, but he has not got the offense. He has not got the offense. But
Punishment.
he is indirectly telling those whoever hears will get the offenses. He did not hear. In fact, he told to the governor, there is only one God. He was preaching them. They did not hear. This is just to show. Sometimes they take it on themselves to show to others that I did like this. You don't do this.
We'll take that time. Okay, Mother. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Okay. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Mataji, can you please give us a prayer to Haridas Thakur that we can recite before chanting?
First, we have to recite the Nam. Before chanting, we have to recite only one thing. Nama Chintamani Krishna's Caitanya Rasavigraha Purna Shuddho Nityamukto Abhinatvam Namanami. And pray to Namachari, Haridas Thakur. Bas. That is how because you have to glorify the name. When you are chanting, you are glorifying the name. Okay.
Okay. Hare
Hare Krishna,
Krishna.
Mataji.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, Haribol. Mataji,
Huh?
one question.
Huh?
Here it is seen in the one of the purports, Brahmanas are happy after seeing Haridas Thakur, and then in their mind itself they are considering him as a Acharya for now, means because he is giving the name of Lord to them. In the similar way, means we find many places nowadays, means a woman who is very well, I should means knowing or having the knowledge, but still she is not allowed to give diksha or whatever. But some people consider in their mind a woman as a diksha guru or whatever. So how can we compare this? Haridas Thakur being a Muslim, he was.
There are certain things which has to be followed from the Shastras. Like when Kanchi Purna was asked to give initiation to Ramanujacharya, he said, no, I will be following the Varnashrama system. I am low born, I cannot give you initiation. Certain things has to be followed. So Haridas Thakur also did not give initiation to everyone. It is acceptance as an acharya. He did not give initiation. He did not have disciples. He did not give initiation. At the same time, he can teach Hari how to chant. He can teach. There is a lot of difference in Diksha ceremony and Shiksha ceremony. In that time, there was no Diksha, proper Diksha. If you see Loknath Swami also, they did not accept any disciples. But still, he was told by Chaitanya to accept Narottam Das. Anyhow, the question is, women cannot become a Diksha Guru according to the Shastras. Only Janva Mata is the only Diksha Guru. She cannot give initiation. She can teach how to come to the level of initiation. So you can take Shiksha from a woman who is having the scriptural knowledge. But Diksha cannot be accepted because it is not there in the Shastra. That she cannot violate the Shastras. If she is violating the Shastras, giving the Diksha, then it is like non-Vedic, simple.
Right. Means we have seen also that some people sometimes they even are hesitant to hear from a woman because of some reasons
It
or
is
the
their
other.
problem. That is their problem.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Everybody has their ego level. Huh? Somebody has ego level, that is their problem. If somebody is in search of a knowledge and if he is seeing the knowledge and he is accepting, knowledge is not flowing through a man or a woman. Knowledge flows through Vyasa. Vyasa can choose anyone's body to preach. Simple. He can choose anyone's body. He can choose a woman's body. He can choose a man's body. Anyhow, everybody is Prakriti only. So Mirabai, when Rupa Goswami told, I'll not come and see any woman, she wrote, in this whole universe, there is only one Purusha.
Okay. Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.